Your first year in real estate, I know it's been a long time. How'd you do the first year? Like, was it?
Very good, actually. Yeah. Yeah. I did very good my first year. And I think that's what kind of, flipped the switch. I was like, this isn't hard. you know, I can get people to sign on the dotted line and, trust me with the sale of their property. I was able to do that quite young. I was a hustler. I didn't, I think that's one of the biggest things, early on. I'm, it's so funny looking back, all the lessons that my dad taught me. One of the things he said was, do you know what makes a good salesperson? It doesn't matter what you're selling, whether it's houses or widget, it doesn't matter. What makes a good salesperson? I thought, smarts, education, something like that. And he said, no, you can handle rejection. What makes a good salesperson is they can move on from the no's and it doesn't sting as much. You can move on quickly. And I thought, oh, okay, that's a thought. Didn't really think about it until, I got into real estate. And then you realize, people are going to say no. How much experience do you have? How many properties have you sold? Have you sold something on this block in this neighborhood, or whatever? And if you can't handle those objections or you can't handle the no's, then you're going to have a really hard time. I moved on quick, and it was really funny. Not too long ago, I saw an interview with Barbara Corcoran, right? Barbara Corcoran, Shark Tank. Yeah. She, Corcoran brokerage, et cetera. And she was being interviewed on, I think it was CNN. And, they asked her what differentiates a really successful agent in her brokerage from a not so successful agent. There's agents that make $1 million in GCI every year and agents that make 20 to 30,000 a year in GCI. She said the biggest difference is they're able to handle rejection. And I went, bing. It was the same thing my dad said. And it's true, right? You're able to move on quicker. Darren Hardy talks about going, getting as many no's as you can until you get that yes. If you can't handle dealing with people, their objections, their no's, then you shouldn't be in sales. And the ones that can get over it quicker and move on are the ones that are successful. So I think I did that early on. I was young, didn't know any different. I just kept going. I knocked on doors. I did everything, you name it. I handed out cards to every person I know. I had people on mailers. I had signs up. I did everything, and I did pretty well my first year. And then I realized that, it's not going to be that big of a stretch to separate yourself from the pack. And then I realized not every agent is successful for a lot of different reasons. So, I train and coach agents every day now. That's, what I do as well with our brokerage. And, I've seen a lot of changes in the industry, but I always say, hey, you got to be able to move on from the no. Some can't. Some can't. Some aren't, cut out for sales, and especially real estate. Your people with their biggest assets have to trust you. So you have to be able to talk about that with authority.